Golden ruler. So I could type in golden, and I'm going to find the golden ruler app, or just again give you an example. I go over here to this handy dandy menu, and if I went to market a listing, I would also find the golden ruler. So just so you can see, there's a couple different ways to find what you're looking for. All right, golden ruler. So what golden ruler is, it's a wonderful tool where you can showcase your listings and how many views your listings are generating online. Now, you will only have access to your listings. You won't have access to the company listings. You'll only have access to your own listings. Okay. So you have this page on Golden Ruler. It's got some of like your, views and stuff over the last 30 days on all of your listings. Okay. So kind of the charts, all this other wonderful stuff. But I really want to get into kind of the more interesting thing. So over here on the left, you're going to see a thing here that says listings. You're going to click on that. Now, again, you're only going to see your listings. I get to see a lot of listings. All right. So, but you're only going to see your own. But here's where you want to go. So let's say Whitefield Court. I didn't pick any particular one, so you're going to be just as surprised as I am. But let's say you have this listing here in Whitefield Court. You're going to go to View Analytics. So this is on Whitefield Court, the analytics of this particular one. Oh, this one's probably just coming soon.
Try Northgate.
Northgate? Sure, man. Let's go to Northgate. Oops. There we go. All right, so let's go to Northgate, View Analytics. All right, so here we go. Thank you, Shane. So Northgate, 30585 Northgate Lane. So here are the analytics. 3,251 views. That's how many views this listing's gotten online. There have been 2 inquiries and 15 favorites, 76 shares. So that's the analytics of this listing. So this is great information for you to know what's going on with your listings, but who else would probably be fairly interested in knowing these stats?
The seller.
The seller would be very interested to know this, right? And so that's the general idea. Then you scroll down here, it goes based on where the views are coming from. Number one is always going to be Zillow. That's obviously the King Kong of real estate online searches. MLS, Realtor.com, HomeSpotter, like all these other different places. The one company that doesn't share their views, that is obviously a big player as well, as Redfin. So Redfin doesn't share their views. So that's 3,251 views without Redfin, which is the second biggest, so I guess if Zillow is King Kong, then Redfin would be Godzilla. Sure. Right? So there's no Redfin views on here, but you're going to have Zillow. So this is all the views. And then you can it shows by timeline, right? So obviously you see here, we had a big jump May 1st, probably when the property was hitting the market, then it goes down. And then as, the time goes on, the views are going to get less and less because your obvious sweet spot to get views on a listing are right when it's listed. So if you ever want to talk to a seller, this is just a great thing to know as well. And this listing is the example of all the other ones. If you ever want proof of the value of listing a property correctly from the get-go, you go to a site like this and it shows you, look at, bam, this is kind of when the property's hitting the market, and then look at the last week. The views just go down and down and down and down and down, right? So you really have that first couple weeks to make an impression in terms of getting it out there. Heat map, where are people viewing it from all over Southern California? Okay, so that's just kind of this page. But here's where we get really cool. seller's report. So we get to this line right here, seller's report. So first of all, I'm going to click on preview report so you can see what this report looks like. Does everybody see this report that says online analytics report? Is that showing up on your screen? Online analytics report. Is that what's showing up? Do you see that?
No.
Yes.
No, you don't see online analytics report. Okay. So let's go here. Okay. Let me reshare my screen. Okay. Do you see this online analytics report?
Yes.
All right. There we go. All right. So check out this report. This report's pretty cool. So 30585 Northgate Lane. So it's got a picture of the property, which pulls from the MLS, price point, right? Stats for this period. This is last 30 days. So if the property is not 30 days old, it just is what it is. So again, now you have this really cool report. So instead of just that page that's kind of all over the place and screenshot, you can actually get an actual report that you can send to your seller and send the seller that says, hey, Mr. Seller, check this out. Your property's got 3,251 views online, 76 shares, 2 inquiries, 15 favorites. And then it breaks it down. Where are the views coming from? Right? So as we said, boom, 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 boom. Look at the top 10 cities. Now the cities are, where is the person located when they're searching? Right? So Temecula's got the most views. That doesn't necessarily mean that the people live in Temecula that are viewing this. It could just mean they work in Temecula or something like that, and that's where they're pinging. Right? So this is a pretty, it's branded with yourself on there, Century 21 Masters. So this is a pretty cool report that you can share with your seller to show them what you're doing. And then you can also say this is a PDF. You can copy it as a link, whatever you want to do there. You can even click on this button for view more stats. So on all of your listings, I would make sure that your seller is getting this report, number one, because not only does it show that you're really working for them, which is a plus, but what situation could this come really handy for on a listing? A price reduction. Because if you go to the seller and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I think we need a price reduction, is the seller genuinely excited and says, hey, I think you've been working your butt off, no problem? Is that most sellers' responses? No. Okay. Most sellers are gonna be like, well, what are you doing? You know, what kind of marketing have you done? What have been the responses? What's the feedback? So now you go to a seller and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, so I want to share this with you. We've had 3,251 views on your property. So the marketing's working. We're getting out there, people looking at your home, but we still don't have any offers on your property. Now, with that many views and no offers, means there's something that's scaring them away. The property's obviously in great condition. Potentially, we need to lower the price. Would you agree? Maybe. I mean, 3,251 views, but this is a report that shows them what's going on. Now, what's also really cool about this, and what I would suggest doing if you need a price reduction, is package this with everything else that you're doing. So, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, property's been on the market for a couple of weeks. I want to share with you the updates. So here's our online analytics report that shows that the property's got 3,251 views online. Pretty good, right? Oh, it's great. Yeah, absolutely. On top of that, I've contacted 200 of your neighbors, okay, to let them know about the listing, see if they know any buyers. I've sent it out to every agent. Every agent in our company got a copy of this as our hot list that gets sent out every Wednesday. That's another 700 people. And I sent it out to all of my database, past client centers of influence, to see if anyone's interested in buying or potentially know someone. And then we also had 40 people come through the open house. So if you ring up these numbers, we're roughly about 4,500 eyes and ears that have been on this property in the last 2 weeks. But despite that, we still don't have any offers, which means we might be slightly overpriced. Now I've got a really good pitch to people in terms of getting a price reduction. Does that make sense? So pretty cool. But there's more with this report. Just like that. I'm like a nighttime salesperson, right? But wait, there's more. Here's a couple other things you can use this report for. you could use this report for prospecting. So imagine, right? Imagine this listing gets into escrow. You print out this report. Now, one thing that's really important for you to know, once this property is closed, you don't have access to this report anymore. I don't know why that is. I've been complaining about that for years. But for right now, it is what it is. Once it's closed, you don't have access to the Golden Rule report. So it's very imperative that before the property closes, you go in here and you print out this report, right, for your listings. Now, here's why. Imagine when the property gets into escrow or the property sells, you prospect the neighborhood. You could print this out and go door knocking or drop it off to all of the owners in the area. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, I just sold your neighbor's property at 123 Main Street. I wanted to give you this report because this report shows you that we had 3,251 views online for this property. There's a lot of activity in here. So I'm curious, have you thought about taking advantage of all these views to see about selling your property? Right? Like now I've got like a really cool pitch. But then I could also use this report, send it out to my database. Hey, past client centers of influence, wanted to share some great news with you. We just sold this property on Northgate Lane, and here's a report that shows you the online analytics. We had 3,251 views. There's a lot of activity in the marketplace. Don't believe what you're hearing in the news. So who do you know that's thinking about selling that might want to take advantage of this? You could use this report for so many great prospecting tools as well. Okay, so this is I started here because this is a great tool that everyone should be utilizing.
Robert, quick question.
Yep.
So I'm going on 2 more listing appointments because of this property. Could you go over just real quickly what would be my best approach to take this to them?
So print this report out.
Yeah.
When you go to this report, go to the bottom. Where's my charger? Go to the bottom here. It says PDF. So you click on the PDF, you print out this report. And when you're at your listing presentation, you can say, hey, I wanted to show you something. So first of all, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, would you like it if I sent you a report each week that updated you on how many views your property was getting online? Seller could be like, yeah, that's great. No one else does that. That would be fantastic. Cool. Well, I have that. And actually, here's a copy of the report I just had for my other listing. You give them a copy of this report. Now, one, I'm going to send you this report every week, so it's pretty neat. But two, I want you to see that through our marketing efforts, the property I just listed had 3,251 views online. So we got a ton of eyes and ears on that property. So would you like if we got 3,251 views on your property? Oh, absolutely. Great. That's what happens when you work with me. We're going to do some marketing and get as many eyes and ears on your property as possible. So you show them this report. It's like, these are not made up numbers. This is not anything I'm just coming up with. This is real stuff. So now I want to go over last thing on Golden Rule. I'm going to X out of here. All right. So everyone now see we're back at the home page here with the blue, red, and blue, yellow boxes. Everybody with me? Everybody with me where it says schedule report?
Yes.
Okay, great. So last thing on this. So you could do what I did and just print that report out, but you can also schedule it. So you get a listing, send report to seller. You could schedule the report. You fill out all the information here for the seller's name, emails, all this other stuff. And then you could schedule to send it weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, however often that you could just set it and forget it, and they automatically get it. Once the property goes pending in the MLS, it shows as pending here, they stop getting the report automatically. All right, questions on Golden Ruler before we go to something else? All right. Get in there and toy around with this a little bit. If you have questions on it, let me know. But this is really cool stuff. I think this right here is a tool with Century 21 that even if you just used this, I think it's worth everything that you paid for. It's a wonderful tool. All right, so let's go back to 21 online. We're gonna go look at a couple other things. All right, let's go to Preferred Client Club. Okay. Preferred client club. Let's see here. All right, so I'm going to go up here to my handy dandy toolbar. And I'm going to type in preferred. And I get right here, preferred agent club, preferred client club. All right, so let's click on preferred client club. So here's what preferred client club is. So preferred client club is a way for you to stay in touch with your past clients, centers of influence, your top people, so on and so forth. So here's kind of how it works, right? You enroll in preferred client club. You get to choose 2, 5, or 7 years. And then each of your people are going to get 7 mailings personalized with your name, photo, and contact information. They get magazines, they get greeting cards, they get a calendar, and it's just set it and forget it. And it's actually pretty nice stuff. We actually have one on display in the Temecula office. Ron O'Malley was going it. It's actually pretty nice. It's a well done magazine. The mailings are all really good, so on and so forth. And then here's the terms, right? So for each customer, this is the yearly price. So you have a past client, for example, center of influence, that you want to get these 7 mailings out to. For if you sign them up for 2 years, that person for 2 years, for $25 a year, that's all it's going to cost. And they're going to get 7 mailings from you, the magazine, all that stuff. I'm sorry, $25 for the whole 2 years. So we're talking about $12.50 a year for those mailers. 5-year, you're only paying $43 for them for 5 years. 7 years, $58. So you're doing it for like $9 a year if you sign them up for 7 years to get the magazines, the mailers, all that stuff. It's pretty cheap when you really think about it for that type of stuff, and it's really nice material. So all you have to do is, enroll your members here, all these wonderful things. So it's pretty simple to get involved with doing that. But this is a great tool, again, to stay top of mind on past client centers of influence. Automatically, they get 7 mailers from you. They're really nice things. They see your face. They see your stuff. All right, hold on a second. Hold on. All right. They see your stuff. They do all these other different things, that's all that really cool stuff. So I would utilize this as much as possible too. Now, a couple things to consider on Preferred Client Club. So one, I have to double check this, but I know it used to be you could only upload 50 people. And the reason they do that, and I completely agree with it, is because they want to make sure that the people you upload are actually your database. Because what would happen if they just opened it up to unlimited? Because let me back up here. Each person can only be in one preferred client club. So what I mean by that is, let's say that you meet someone prospecting, you have a great relationship with them, and so forth, and you say, I want to add them to my preferred client club. You go to add them, and you get a kickback from Century 21, say, oh, that person's already in Robert Hertel's preferred client club, which means they can't get your stuff. They're in my preferred client club. So the reason that they cap it at 50 is because they don't want an agent to come in here and just upload 1,000 names, addresses, and phone numbers for people in their community and say, oh, these are all my preferred client club. And then now they have controlled access to all those people. They don't want that. So they cap it at 50. So, but you don't have to do 50. You could do one person if you want to. So pick and choose the people that you think are really going to get the most use from that. So this should only go out to your biggest influencers. I wouldn't send this out to people that you're trying to get it from, meaning that you might say, oh, well, I already get referrals from Robert. I don't get referrals from, Robin. So I'm going to send this to Robin. No, don't do that. Robin is not your person. Send this out to the people that are really your influencers. That's where you're going to get the best return on your investment with that. And then pick the people that you choose that you think are going to be that should go in there, but it's up to 50. But it's pretty cool. Now, they did a study, Century 21 did a study on this a few years ago. Now, granted, this was like 3 or 4 years ago. I have not been aware of any updated studies. But the way they broke it down was the agents within the Century 21 system that use Preferred Client Club to some capacity were doing 1.8 more transactions, so almost double than the agents that weren't using it. So take that for what it is, but it's a pretty cool tool and for pretty cheap. So I would try to get that. Now the question always comes up of, well, Robert, what if this is a client of mine, but they're in somebody else's preferred client club, but they want to be in mine? How do they do that? That client has to contact Century 21. Like you contact the help desk. The help desk will say, hey, this is the client has to contact this, and they have to go through those steps. But preferred client club, good stuff. All right, so let's move on to the next. All right, so I want to move on to university. C21 University. C21 University. So C21 University, Century 21 University, this is the training platform that Century 21 uses for their systems. So you can go in here to log in. It's the same login as your 21 online. All right, there we go. All right, so you go to C21 University. You walk in here. So here's something pretty cool. They've developed pathways. So wherever you're at in your real estate career, they've essentially developed a curriculum designed to help you move to the next level. So, hey, I'm new to real estate agent pathway. I'm new to Century 21, or I'm a seasoned agent, but inconsistent in the number of units I'm doing, or I'm an experienced producing agent, right? So let's just say you're new to real estate and you're like, hey, yeah, what training class should I do? They have an actual pathway to lead you down this. So let's say you click on get started, and then boom, 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 right? You start with Foundations of Excellence. Here's a class on Welcome to the C21 brand, right? And then you register for Expand. You go to Goal Projector, so best day ever. So they have all these classes designed for someone who's new to real estate, business building. Now, what I would say to you is you could go through this entire pathway, or you could just pick and choose some of the classes that you think work with you best. But it's pretty cool. They have this entire pathway set up just based on where you're at in your business. So if you're looking for some additional training, or you just want some better training because, look, we're not for everybody. Some people like the training we do, some people don't. Maybe Century 21's got it for you. So they have some different pathways there. Now, on top of that, you can just search by courses, right? Different courses that they might have here and all kinds of different things. So you can really sort through this to go through a lot of different training material. So let me give you an example. So again, you can search by pathway, you can go by calendar, you can do all these types of things. Let's just click on Learning Library, just to give you an idea. And you want to say, I don't know, I just want to see all the classes that they have. So here's the entire Learning Library. And then again, you can sort by, do you want to do an in-person class? Do you want to do a remote class? Self-paced, which means it was already pre-done. You do it at your own pace. Sort by, however, you can do the search, right? But I mean, if you just scroll through this, there are so many different classes, and some of them are like 4 or 5 minutes, just real quick objection handler or something like that. Some of them are an hour and a half. But there's a lot of different classes on here that you can come check out. And then they have a lot of different really cool. And then some of them, if you keep scrolling down, they have like just a couple minutes with some producing agents. Let me show you this real quick. But look, they have like mentorship, lead engine, and then there's classes pretty much on all the Century 21 tools as well. Anyways, so there's a lot of different things that you have access here. There are some really great classes, mindset, all kinds of different things. But let's say, for example, they're like, well, I want some help on buyers. So I type in here buyers. So what are some classes? Here you go. So here's a class on working with buyers. Buyers are not liars. Proven techniques to close buyers fast. Buyer agents and cooperation. So like I want some information on buyers. So I could do a class on that. What about, sellers? So I can search by what class of sellers. Finding sellers equals more listings. So you can search by all these other different things to find different classes. There's some good stuff on here. Here's one I would love if everyone participated in. Okay. You go to challenge. This one right here, 21-day challenge. I would love it if everyone participated in the 21-day challenge. So like you click on learn more, for example, and essentially what it is, it's a 21-day listing challenge that Brian Pitt, who's the head of training for Century 21, oversees. And it's pretty cool, right? So you have like a morning session. Now it's 7 a.m. our times when it starts, and they call it like a daily stretch where you're going through it with all the other people that are involved. And there's usually a couple hundred people all across Century 21s across the United States that are involved. You have to track your numbers. You go through your progress. There's a lot of really cool things with this. They do it every quarter. So they just finished the second quarter one. So they'll put the date in there for the third quarter one when it comes up. But I would, if I were you, I'd get involved with that 21-day challenge. That's cool stuff. But anyways, check out Century 21 University. There's a lot of great classes and little things in there. But like I said, some of them are like 5 minutes. They'll talk to Greg Harrelson for like 5 minutes about something, or Kyle Seaboth or something like that. But a lot of cool things in there. All right, let's go back to 21 online. Now, Moxie has a lot of great things in there. I'm not going to get into Moxie because I think we're going to do a whole Moxie class in June. So we'll let Dylan and Cassidy and all of them get involved, Bree, with more of the Moxie stuff. But Moxie's obviously really great in there as well. So next thing that I wanted to show you in terms of this. All right, business benefits. So being part of Century 21, you and your clients get discounts for certain things. So if you check this out, right, for your office, for your customers. So let's click on learn more for our customers. So you get discounts on budget truck rental, choice hotels, Avis, more rental car things, American Home Shield, Pods, FedEx. So there are some discounts you can use. So if you have a client that is selling their house and is moving, or a buyer that's moving stuff out of their house into a new house, hey, look, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I could save you up to 20% on a truck rental, right? It's just a little added discount. Now you could use it. Well, this is for you and your clients, right? You have clients that are maybe coming in from out of town. Hey, I could save you up to 20% on one of these choice hotels. Okay. Rental cars. And again, if they need a rental car, you have all this pods, home shield, all these things. So these are just little added perks that you or your clients can use for some discounts. And then if you let's say they want truck rental, you just click on learn more, right? And it shows you, there you go. For more information or plan an order, call here and use the promo code, so on and so forth. All right, so some discounts that you get there. Now let's say that was for your customers. Let's go to your own office, for your business office management. Lone Wolf Real Estate Technologies. This is more for brokerage stuff, but Office Depot. If you use stuff for Office Depot, you can get a discount on there. Ring Central, if you use that for any phone systems. So you got some discounts on some of the brokerage stuff as well. So anyways, more tools that you have here. Okay, office management, apparel. Let's see, what kind of apparel discounts do you get? American Image, right? So if you want to get some name badges or awards, you want to get your client an award that says best client, anything like that. Telecommunication, prospecting and maintaining customers. So Express Docs, all these other different things. So anyways, some discounts in there. So if you just search by benefits, business benefits will pop up, and you have a bunch of different discounts and stuff like that that you can utilize. Again, you or your client. So it's just another benefit to your clients. All right, good stuff. So next thing is, okay, so my C21 site. Okay, my C21 site. So if you go to main menu, right, promote yourself, my C21 site. So this is your website that comes with Century 21. Now, some of you really utilize this, some of you use other websites, things like that. But either way, this website's created for you. So if you want some more information on editing your website, right here, start today and claim your MyC21 website. Right, so Robert Hertel's site is unclaimed, but you can claim your C21 website and then you can edit it, for example, to make your website look really, really cool. So and it just walks you right through it. So personal profile, community serves, featured area, banner, local content. So check this out. For like local content, you could type in some information like chat GPT about some local information, and boom, then you can copy and paste it into here. Your social networking, link all your stuff. How do you want the feel of it? And then now you have a C21 website. It's no cost to you. It's part of just being with Century 21. You'd have your own website. And here's your subdomain, roberthertel.c21.com. So it's not like a domain that's like 18, exclamation points and an at symbol and all these other different things. So my C21 site, free website. Well, it's not free. It's part of your cost. I was Century 21, but pretty cool. And when you set it up nicely, it actually looks pretty good. So I would certainly get into that. All right. I want to go to Productivity Hub. So if I go to menu, right, we'll just show you one more thing. If I go to menu and I just click on Productivity Hub, it gives me a lot of different it gives you just a lot of things that you can search for. If instead of searching for things in the toolbox, if you just go to Productivity Hub, there's a lot of things that are right here, right? So brand studio, images, logos, templates, even download a Century 21 TV commercial to use for your website, business cards, express docs, promotional shop. So I'll get to that in a second. Discounts and perks, that's kind of what we went to. All kinds of other different things. There's so much in here. We only just touched the surface, but you could go in here and really just go through a lot of different things to really get involved with a lot of Century 21 stuff. Okay. All right. Last thing I want to show you real quick, because I was going to show, well, I'll just glance over this one real quick. Promotional shop. If you want some C21 swag, either for yourself or for your clients, you want to give it away at open houses or whatever, here's, agent essentials, new arrivals, apparel, gifts. So you have all kinds of different things. So like, for example, gifts, right? You have a cooler bag, candles, right? Tumblers, totes, all kinds of different things that you can either get for yourself or get for your clients. That are all branded. So it's pretty neat. Apparel, if you want shirts, jackets, all kinds of different things. Mike Meadler at 121 was wearing a C21 suit jacket, and I was really jealous. It was pretty sweet. I was like, come on, man. When are you going to put that on whatever? And he still has not done it. But I have a talk with him on Monday, so I'm going to bring it up again, of which he'll probably just hang up the phone. Stuff for your baby. Anyways, got some swag there. All right, I want to go back here. Last thing I want to show you. Real satisfied. So real satisfied. So every time you close a transaction, buyer or seller, if you have real satisfied set up, the client gets a survey emailed out to them. So make sure before you close the file, you have the right email address for your client, right? So they get this survey, they can write a testimonial, they can rate you, they can do all these other wonderful things. You go to real satisfied and make sure your profile is set up. Here's the benefits of real satisfied. One, it automatically goes out to your clients, okay, so they can make sure that you don't even have to try to get them to click on a link. They're going to get this anyways, and you just say, hey, can you make sure to send this out? Number two is that it goes on your Century 21 profile. So if somebody went to century21.com and was searching for agents in the area, the agents that tend to come up first are the ones that have the most reviews, just like in Google or Zillow or anything else. So if they're searching at Century 21 for an agent in the area, the more reviews you have, the more likely that you're going to get higher on the list to potentially capture some leads. So that's the other benefit. The other benefit is that with Google, if somebody leaves a bad Google review, there's nothing you could do. It's there. If somebody leaves you a bad, real satisfied review before it gets posted and on your account to go on your average, you have the ability to contact that client, have a discussion with them, see if you can try to overcome whatever issues they had, and then possibly send them another review where they give you a better score. So you can possibly, like, even if you get a bad review or a lower review than you want, you could potentially, rectify that with the client and have them give you a better review. Google, you can't. They give you 2 stars, you got 2 stars. That goes on your average. Here, maybe you can rectify it and they'll give you another one for 3 or 4 or whatever, or just cancel their review, which is okay sometimes. I'm not supposed to say that, but what are they going to do to me? Century 21. I'm too important for Century 21 for them to do anything. So anyways, but real stats are cool. Now, as a company, I'm not gonna lie to you, this really helps us as a company. So the biggest award at that Century 21 gives out to companies is called the Art Bartlett Award. Art Bartlett founded Century 21, and it's the biggest award they can give out to companies. So check this out. Last year, there's no joke. Mike Meadler told me this the other day. Last year, Century 21 Masters would have won the Art Bartlett Award if we would have had more reviews. He told me that. I was like, oh. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It helps us as well because the company gets more recognition and then we get more cool stuff from C21 and all these other wonderful things. So it helps us out as well. Go ahead, Tim. What's your question?
My question is, does Real Satisfied, the reviews, do they go on any other sites like my Google site?
They
Would they
can.
be
You can
transferred
add
to
them.
there? Yeah. Okay.
So you can right here. So like it shows social activity. You can add your social media links or websites or things like that where it can be added on there. So like I'm on LinkedIn, for example, and I see our agents all the time when they get a real satisfied review, it posted on LinkedIn, and I'm like, hey, great job, so and so forth. And I know they show up on different social media sites. So Google, I take it back. I'm gonna have to find out about Google. But I know social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all that stuff, you can automatically set it up to where when you set up your profile, you can do all that stuff, set up your links. So right here, right, a buyer testimonial is to Facebook, Twitter. So you can do all those things for sure. I'll have to check on Google. That's a great question, but I'll look into that one. But anyways, so really cool stuff with Real Satisfied. So Jesse says it goes to Facebook. Thank you, Jesse. So one of the questions that came in, my listing doesn't show up on Golden Ruler. What would be the reason for that? Could be a variety of different reasons. Number one, if it's not active on the MLS, it won't show up on Golden Ruler. If it's already closed, it won't show up on there. If it's active on the MLS and it's still not showing up on Golden Ruler, then you'd have to potentially call the help desk because maybe there's some other issue going on there. But usually it's because it's in coming soon status or it's no longer active. Like even if you put it on hold, it's no longer active, so it won't show up in Golden Ruler. Because I know some people put their listings on hold for a short time while they're reviewing offers. It won't show up on Golden Ruler if that's the case. But if it's actually active on the MLS and it's not showing up in Golden Ruler still, then yeah, call the help desk and see if maybe there's some other reason. All right, good stuff. All right, so again, this just touching the surface on 21 Online, and I didn't even get into Moxie, which has all the presentation tools and marketing tools and stuff like that, because I think our team's going to do that next month, so I'll let them go through all that stuff. But anyways, I wanted to share with you at least a couple things when it came to 21 Online. But as you can see, there's a ton of stuff on there that can really help you in terms of your business, marketing, all kinds of things. So get in there, utilize. Again, there's no additional cost for any of those services. But if you want to buy swag, you pay for that. But none of those other services, Real Satisfied, My C21 site, Golden Ruler, and C21 University, all the classes, none of that stuff costs anything extra. That's part of your franchise fee when you close the transaction. So, get in there, utilize some of that stuff, or if nothing else, pick one or two things, but some good stuff in there. All right, everybody, that's all I got. Hopefully you got a couple things out of that. Other than that, let's have a great